The Detroit Lions started the day with 89 people on the 90-man roster, and with the news that John Kaminsky will probably be lost for the regular season, if not beyond. Eventually, when he is moved to IR, we will have 88 people on the roster. So that means that the Detroit Lions have the opportunity to bring 2 people in as we go into the rest of training camp and the preseason. Now, one of those positions I think could be a kicker, and the other position could be someone on the defensive line. Now, you guys already know from the banner and from the thumbnail, this is a guy that we talked about exactly 63 days ago when I made my last video on him. But we got a little bit of an update when it comes to Mr. Breeland Speaks of the Michigan Panthers, trying to work his way back into the NFL. I believe last year he spent some time on the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know if he was there when we played him, but he is a former draft pick that just didn't really cut it in the NFL. But he is looking for another opportunity to come in and try to establish himself as an NFL player. I saw something today from A to Z Sports coming from Mike Payton that I thought was pretty interesting. Check this out. So apparently Breeland Speaks has had discussions with the Titans and the Panthers. The Panthers, as we know, have been looking for a pass rusher. They lost Brian Burns. They did bring in Yannick Ngakoue, who is still out there. Emmanuel Ogbah is gone. Yannick is still not signed. So Yannick would be my first choice, obviously, if we're not going to trade for somebody. And if we are going to trade for somebody, then Judon would be that choice. But it looks like that Breeland Speaks could be trying to get on the Detroit Lions. This is coming from A to C Sports. Says, a source tells myself and A to C Sports that Speaks is definitely interested in playing for the Lions and that his team is trying their hardest to get him to camp. When asked if the Lions were Speaks' top choice, the source replied with this: Detroit for sure. He fell in love with the Michigan fan base. So, Breeland Speaks, UFL, coming off of a 9-sack season. He was now remember, Matthew Betts was the sack leader for the CFL. Also spent some time in the NFL. Couldn't make it off a practice squad. Breeland Speaks, although it's not 18, it is half of that. Led the UFL with 9 sacks. I believe he might have won Defensive Player of the Year as well. I'm not too sure about that. But the Lions could use his services. And again, this could be somebody to push the defensive line we already have. And if you guys are like, oh, you're always trying to bring a pass rusher, look, the roster is 90 men for a reason. Because at the end of the day, those 90 men are trying to compete for, 53, 16, 69 spots. They're trying to compete. So that 90 man, only 21 people will have to find a new team after cut day. So Breeland Speaks coming in, wanting to play for the Detroit Lions. Seems like he already had his base here. And wouldn't that be something if we brought in Jake Bates, a Michigan Panther, and Breeland Speaks as well? You know me, I got a fever. And the only prescription is more pass rush. I will never, ever turn down anybody that can help the defensive line. Even though the defensive line, the defense is stepping up as a whole, I will never, ever pass anyone down. And if they are a long shot to make this team, then come in here and show us what you got. He's a former second-round pick. He spent time with the Chiefs. He was actually there when they won the Super Bowl in 2020. He has been on the Raiders, Cowboys, Giants, Bills, and 49ers. So he's been around the league, but he has spent the past 2 off seasons, I think, with the Michigan Panthers. Now, you could ask yourself or reason with yourself and say his body has been through it, which is true. It's true. But listen, he's been doing this his entire life. He could be a depth piece at best or at worst. You know what I'm saying? So if he wants to be here, and if the Lions are not going to, and again, this is something, we talked about this pre-training camp, pre-injuries. Unfortunately, Kaminsky might have been the first on the defensive line, but he is not the last. He's not the last. Hopefully, it's not anything major on the Detroit Lions, but I think the Detroit Lions could bring someone in. I think a kicker will be number 89. And what position will be number 90? So let me know in the comments below. Are you like, nah, we good, we can just work with the people we have? Or are you in favor of bringing in an additional body, even if it's not Breeland Speaks? But if it is Breeland Speaks, would you give him the opportunity to at least compete in camp and see what we could get out of him as we go into the season? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm sure a lot of you guys leave when I start with that. Let me know what you think in the comments below, but that's a bad thing to do because you never know what's sitting and waiting on the other side of that. In this case, I have some training camp tickets to give away for tomorrow's training camp, which is the 31st of July. Shout out to my guy, JBL, told me he couldn't make it, said, yo, I want you to use these, see if you can give them away so that other people can enjoy what we've been able to enjoy, the Detroit Lions training camp. So if you are interested in the training camp tickets, it will be on a first come, first serve basis. Simply DM me on Twitter and we can get that moving. Or if you don't do Twitter, you can email me as well. I will say this, if you are going to email me, I'll do my best and check that email and before I make the final determination. So whoever reaches out to me first, those timestamps will get it. I do have, I want to say about three to four for sure. 3 to 4 for sure. So this is for tomorrow's training camp, the 31st of July. Let me know if you want those in the comment section below. Remember, this channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. And I got to say this. You guys have made me, and until I lose this title, I'm going to say it with pride. You have made me the #1 independent Detroit Lions content channel on YouTube. I am the biggest channel that has zero media backing. I have no sponsors, rich sponsors sponsoring me. I have no digital media behind me. I'm just a guy sitting in his basement talking about his favorite team. As a matter of fact, put in the comments below. Put in the comments below where I got that from. And maybe I'll have a ticket for you. Let me know what is that referencing? Put it in the comments below. The first person to comment that, and if they want to go to training camp tomorrow, I'll have a ticket for you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you should always watch a video all the way to the end. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. I got a fever, and the only prescription is pass rush. More pass rush. Man, I messed that up.